What's up everyone, welcome to this tutorial where I retwist my hair and take it from this, which is in need of a retwist, to this, which is fresh and ready to style. So I will begin by taking my hair out of this ponytail. My hair has been washed. You can check out my video on a scalp scrub tutorial and wash tutorial that I did. Then I'm going to spray my hair with water. We always want to begin with moisturized hair. This makes sure that we're not further damaging our hair as we are styling it. Just a preference that I have. Now before you retwist your hair, you want to think about how you want your hair to lay. This year, I'm focusing on styles that don't put too much tension on my edges. As you can see, my edges need a lot of help. Last year, I wore my hair in a lot of ponytails, which really pulled at my edges. So this year, I'm trying to wear it down more, which means that I'll be wearing it in a middle part most of the time. So for this retwist, I'm gonna make sure that my hair falls in a direction that allows me to wear my hair down. Usually I prefer the side part, but because my edges are slightly damaged, I will be wearing it in the middle part in hopes of my hair covering the sides. So you want to go ahead and make sure that your hair is parted in a way that you like it to be parted. Now you can braid it down, you can flat twist it down. I am flat twisting my hair, or you can just use rubber bands and clips, whatever fits your preference. I didn't have too many hair binders with me, and I don't usually like using rubber bands in my hair if I don't have to, so a flat twist is usually the easiest and less option that puts tension on my hair. Then I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that those braided or flat twisted sections have been nicely tied down. Then I'm gonna part my hair, and I noticed that I had a gray hair. Interesting. So I go ahead and section my hair off. I'm going to start retwisting my hair from the back. Just makes sense for me, getting the hardest part out of the way first and then working my way up to the front. I like the front to be very neat and more detailed, and the back I don't really care too much about, but we also want to make sure that we're taking care of our hair. So what I do is I go through my hair in the back and make sure that I have a straight line. And I will start by showing you how I retwist with the front. I'm using a 2-point rotation. Now just showing you how much new growth there is in the front. I did retwist some of the front pieces just because I like to keep it a little bit more on the neat side. I'm using this curved tool. It's a crochet tool, and I'm going to go 2 different directions. So from back to front, and then I will be going from one direction to the next. So I will show you as I loop it into the edge of this tool. I am going to pull the hair through, and as you can see, it's just easier for me to go from the back to the front. The direction I'll be going is from my right to the left. And I'm gonna keep with those 2 points, hence the 2-point rotation. So back to front, and then right to the left. Make sure that you are not handling your hair in a rough manner and that you're not being too tight with this. You want to start from the top part of the loose area of your hair and work your way down. You want to start from closest part to where your last retwist was, if that makes sense. But we'll talk about that a little bit later as we keep going on. So I'm going to start with the back. Usually for me, it's just a little bit easier, so I know that the back and the middle of my hair are taken care of. They're usually the most complicated. I twist my hair before I start retwisting it. This just helps keep the little stray pieces all together. Now for this, I am going from down to up, if that makes sense. And then I'm going to go from right to left. It's easier for me to go from down to up rather than up to down, but you can go whatever direction you feel works for you. So down to up, and then I'm going to go from right to left. So following those 2 points until I feel like I've reached the bottom. Again, starting from the top of the loose hair, working your way all the way down. That you're not sliding the hair directly down from the roots, the pieces that are closer to your scalp. Then I'm gonna just tie the other pieces just to keep them out of the way. When I retwisted, I found that I really had to keep a lot of the hair out of the way because you don't want to crochet 2 pieces together. My locks are a little bit more on the medium to small side. which makes it very easy to put two together. That has happened to me before, and it is a pain to separate them once you've crocheted them. One time I wasn't able to separate them, another time I had to do some snipping. So just to prevent that, we want to make sure that all the hair is out of the way. So I'm going from down to up and from right to left. It's easier if you use the same directions, just so you know the last point you left off at. Sometimes if your hands are tight and you leave the hair and you notice that you don't remember whether you went down, up, or one direction or the other, if you loop your hair through and you realize that you have a hole, just push the hair in between like a different section of the hair. That is not making sense at all, but I will show you what this looks like hopefully a little bit later on. If not, I'll do a detailed tutorial on how to fix holes, because you don't want holes in your locks by going through the same section twice. So I'm just going to go ahead and go through the bottom of my hair. As you can see, already looking good. Now, it's not going to be perfect because you can't see the back of your hair, but you want to try your best just to make sure that you get it done as best as you can. So again, the same motion from down to up and from right to left. You can use a crochet tool, whatever tool works best for you. For me, this was just a little bit easier with the amount of new growth that I had in the back. I found that this tool just makes it a little bit easier to maneuver my hair, and it works a little bit faster. Up close, you're seeing how much new growth I have, quite a bit. And you see that there are also strays that I usually like to pull aside, and I use a bobby pin just to clip them down to make sure that they don't get in the way of the rest of the hair. So twisting the hair again and following the same pattern, same motion that I used before. I did not mention I use flaxseed gel to retwist my hair. Usually I use nothing or an oil. I prefer to use oils if I am going to use a product, but I made my own flaxseed gel, which worked out pretty great. I don't really like the clean, completely manicured look, but if that's a look that you're going for, it's definitely achievable. Do what works best for your hair. I like the free-formed look, but I also like my locks to look a little bit neat. Somewhere in between works for me, so I'm not too particular about my parts being 100% clean and making sure that things are extremely neat. As long as my hair has been retightened, that really works for me. So again, you can see that piece has been retightened. I've gone through half of my hair. Excuse the blurry screen, lost focus a little bit. Over here, I want to show you what the tool looks like. So you slide the hair through and then you lock it in by sliding it either to the right or to the left, just to lock that piece in. And as we make our way up to the front, I'm going to show you a detailed view of what things look like when I retwist in the front. So we've gotten through the back where we were going from the down to up direction, and then now as we get to the front, we are going to do it. It's a little bit easier to do it from the front. So for me, it was easier to go from front to back and then from right to left. So the back, I was going from down up, and then for the front, I'm going the opposite direction. So front to back and then right to left. Wherever your point ends is where your hair will fall. Now, ideally, that's how you should let your hair fall, but I just flipped mine the opposite direction. So with the direction I'm going, my hair should end up falling to the left because that's where it's ending, but my hair I kind of just put it back where I need it to be. Left to right was a little bit tough for me to do. Just do what works best for your hair. Notice that I'm switching and using a crochet hook. The front of my hair is thinner. Those locks are a little bit smaller, and it's easier for that tool to get through rather than that other hook tool. So I switch once I start getting less new growth. Showing you again what the new growth looks like. I had quite a bit to work with the center of my hair towards the front. As you saw in the back, the new growth did not compare. That's me applying the flaxseed gel. I made it with a light hold. I didn't want too much buildup. It was my first time testing it out, so I wanted to see what it would do for my edges. So here you see me using the crochet tool again. And sometimes it's easier to use it on the hair that's towards the front of my head rather than the back, because I have better control and I'm able to see. So I'm still following the same motion that I was, where this one I'm going front to back and right to left. So you want to continue with that motion, alternating between both tools. If it's easier for you to use one tool over another, definitely do that. I was just trying to keep them a little bit neat. Again, excuse the blur, but I want to show you what these two pieces look like in the front. Now, these are new locks that I had to retwist. I just put them into 2 strand twists, and I'm using the crochet hook, the 2-point rotation, as I did before, where I'm going from front to back, and then I'm going from right to left. So if you're newly locked, or if you're just starting your locks, this method might be easier for you if you're starting with the 2-strand twist method. I crochet my hair, or interlock, or whatever name you want to call it, because the regular retwist or palm rolling just does not work for my hair. My hair just unravels after doing that. So if you prefer to try this method on newly locked hair, it definitely works, and you can use a crochet needle for the rest of your hair. So this is a retwist. This is what it looks like. This should be able to last me for about 2 to 3 months. I only retwist my hair about 4 times a year, so I plan on this lasting me a pretty long time. Then to finish things off, focusing on scalp health again. I will keep repeating this year, so I'm going to make sure that my scalp is well moisturized. I did the scalp scrub, I washed it. Now I'm gonna make sure that I'm moisturizing it, and this is what the retwist looks like. Rubbing the oil into my edges just to make sure that I'm doing my best to try and regrow them. And this is how I'm going to wear my hair. So the center part and down, you can see that my hair has movement, so there's no buildup, nothing in the hair. And there you go. There's a retwist. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next one.